Morning, everybody. Grateful to be here on this IPA and grateful to introduce one of our moderators, Sherry Key. We've known Sherry Key for years now, and she's been in this company for nearly as long as we are. We've been in for 11 years. I think she's probably around the 9 year mark. But Sherry didn't really start doing this as a business for a long time. She was a product of the, she used the products. She actually had a store. Maybe she'll talk a little bit about that with health products and stuff like that. And really was just kind of, you know, doing this, selling some products, doing some stuff. And it really wasn't until about 2 years ago where her really mind changed and exploded and saw the potential of turning this into an income. And she and her husband Joey are great. We've got to spend some time with them in the Bahamas last year on the incentive trip, and she kind of helps him out a little bit every once in a while with his business, going on the road and doing some fun stuff. But Sherry's passionate about health, about getting yourself better. She has a great transformation herself in her late, I want to say Sure, I won't call you old, but later in her later years, she took up running, and now she's an avid runner as well. So she's just a great resource for us in North Carolina, and just happy to have her on today to share a little bit about herself and her journey.
She is truly one of my favorite people. And to think that we went, Sherry, just think we went how many years without really knowing each other. And then it took Bahamas when we were there. This is why trips are great, you guys, because you get to know other people. And we knew because we're cross line. But the thing is that we really got to know them, and we love you guys. We love you, and we love what you're becoming. Just seeing you blossom and grow in the last 2 years is amazing. And I think you need to share how that changed. I mean, what you went from to what you are now. I love it. So tell us all about you.
Hey guys, good morning from North Carolina. Thank y'all so much for having me today. My name's Sherry Key, and that's right, I've been around. It's been 10 years since I used these products for the first time. I was at a place in my life where I knew I needed to make some changes. And I was lucky enough to have a friend who was already a part of the company. You guys know Carrie Hicks. She was already in the company, and she and I already had a friendship. And so that's where it all started. And I was a product of the product. I lost 50 pounds that first year doing exactly, I went into the home of a friend just like we do now. And we learned about the products, and I followed the foods list and did all the things, guys. It hasn't changed. It worked 10 years ago. It works today. And I lost 50 pounds that year, gained back a lot of things in my life, most of all, just knowledge and power that came from understanding nutrition a little bit better. And it was just a game changer. It was a mindset shift for me. And I knew whatever I was doing, I wanted to do it in a way that was going to be sustainable. I didn't want any crazy fads, like crazy stuff. I just wanted normal life, normal food, normal life. And that's what I found with this. And so I, used these products and went on about my way. And couple of years afterwards, couple of years, y'all, 2 years later, Carrie said she always knew that I needed to be more than just a customer. 2 years later, I said yes to actually becoming involved with a program that Carrie was actively coaching, a nutrition program that she and Steve Teglis had created, which centered around the drops in nutrition. And so that's when I kind of jumped on board as a brand partner. So, the lesson to be learned in that is don't give up on people, right? Continue to love on people. Don't give up on people, because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that when I started. But 2 years later, I was ready to say yes to something more, became a brand partner. But like, John and Christy said, I didn't really understand the business. I was earning some income, nothing really life-changing, vacation money kind of stuff, right? But I was doing my thing. And sometimes we have to let people do their thing, right? It might not be exactly, I think that was mentioned yesterday, it might not be exactly what we think needs to happen. It might not be what we think somebody needs to do. Sometimes we just have to let them do their thing. So I did my thing for a while. I opened up health food store. I got certified as a health and wellness coach. Like, I was very passionate about helping people in my community. However, I did not realize the gold mine that I had in front of me with the business. It just didn't click until about 2 years ago. And I started recognizing that, wait a second, there's some people really making some crazy money in this thing. I've mentioned before, it was destined Pemacinity. I don't know. I'm getting them all messed up. 2 years ago, that the like switch went off, right? The light bulb moment where I thought, wait a second, there's more to this, and I need to pay attention. Like, I need to pay attention to what's happening right here in front of me. And it was in that moment that I decided I couldn't wait. I also spent some time, if I'm being honest, and I've had these conversations with Carrie. She's on the call today. I was kind of waiting for somebody to hand it over to me. To be honest, I was waiting for, Carrie or Steve or somebody. I kind of had I knew Ken, but I didn't really know Ken. I wasn't reaching out to Ken for, for the kind of help that I needed, to be honest. But I was kind of waiting for somebody to spoon feed. And why do we do that? We have all the resources that we need right in front of us, and it's up to us. This is your business. Why are you waiting for somebody else to spoon feed you? It's time for us to take our steps out on our own. Y'all know I'm a fairly new grandma, and Mimi, and my 15-month-old little grandbaby. A lot of you guys have watched her grow up in PartnerCo because she's a PartnerCo baby, since my daughter is a brand partner as well too. And we're at that really fun stage where every day, she's learning and she's doing all these things on her own. And, we're watching her develop. And she's not perfect, right? She doesn't walk. She's not running crazy fast. She's learning. I think Shelby posted yesterday her walking up the steps on the porch, and she's kind of cautious and taking her time, but she's learning, right? And so that's where many of us are at, is that we're in these learning stages, and we're learning how to take those steps. We're learning and exploring new things. But we have to, she wants to do those things, and she's taken those steps. Quit waiting for somebody to do it for you, right? If you're not getting the results that you want, maybe your upline is quit, or maybe your upline isn't motivated, or they're not meeting your needs. Maybe reach a little further up. Where most of us are blessed. If you're on this call, I know that you've got people in your upline that can help you. Reach a little further up if you need to. Here's the really beautiful thing: reach across. You don't even have to reach up, reach across. John and Christy, we're not connected at all in the same lines, but if I needed them, I wouldn't hesitate to reach out. So many of the faces that I see right now, I have reached out to. I've reached out to John and Christy because we have that culture. That's what makes us really special and unique in this world of network marketing, partnership marketing, is that we have the ability to do that. So don't let that be your excuse that nobody's helping you, okay? Help yourself. Quit waiting for somebody to do it for you. You have the resources, use them. It's just, we have this opportunity. I want to share one more thing real quick. You guys that follow me on social media, I was in Nashville recently. My husband owns a franchise business, so sometimes I have to swing and do things with him, and people are like, what in the world? So we were at an annual thing, kind of like we have with PartnerCo. And we're in Nashville, okay? We're having a great time doing our thing. We're on our way home on Wednesday, and I get up and I go to the restroom. And Joey's sitting at the gate with our luggage, and I go to the restroom, and I'm on my phone. I'm kind of piddling around, but I love just watching people too, right? You guys like doing that, just kind of being observant of people. And I'm standing there and in the terminal at Nashville, and y'all, Randy Travis literally walks in front of me. Now, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm not this huge country fan. I mean, I was a teenager in the 80s. Like, I love some 80s country, early 90s country. But I mean, for sure, I know who Randy Travis is. And if you watch the Opry and stuff lately, he had this huge thing with Carrie Underwood, and I saw that. He walked right in front of me. And the reason why I'm sharing this is I stood there for just a minute and I hesitated. And I thought to myself, do I say something to him? I mean, does he need me to say something to him? It really wasn't even about him, I didn't think. I thought, he doesn't need to, like, he doesn't want to hear from me. Who am I, right? Who am I to him? And yet I felt so pressed. But the thing is, nobody else realized who he was. I was so blown away that this country legend, okay, this legend was right here in front of me, and no, people were just zooming past him. They were on their phone, they were in conversation. There's nothing wrong with that, but nobody even realized. And I thought, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? If I go and talk to him, what's the worst thing that can happen? And so I did. I approached him. And if you follow me on social media, you see I was right next to him, arm around him. He's in a wheelchair now. He's had a stroke. He's got some health issues. But his wife they were so kind and so sweet. And his wife took a picture of us together. And as soon as she took the picture, he reached over and he grabbed my hand and looked me in the face and said, "Thank you so much." What was he thanking me for? He was thanking me for the fact that I acknowledged him, right? I mean, this is somebody who's famous, who's a celebrity that you would think they don't need to hear from me. He didn't need to hear from me. And yet he was so thankful. And y'all, I continued to watch after I chatted with them for a few minutes. I couldn't help. I mean, of course, I was starstruck and was like, Joey is going to die when I tell him what just happened. And he missed out. But I watched him walk down the terminal, and I continued to watch people just passing him, missing opportunity. Okay. They missed the opportunity to speak to him. Opportunity. How many times do we have that happen? And we can look at it from different perspectives. We can say, how many opportunities are we missing when we're not focused, when we're not paying attention, right? That are all around us. But how many people are we missing the opportunity to be able to help them to feel seen, to help them to feel heard, to help them feel important, right? We've got to slow down. We got to look. We got to listen. We've got to pay attention. All right. It was just it was exciting because it was a celebrity. But my big takeaway from all of that was just that opportunity for somebody to feel seen. And it was just a really cool thing. But it helped me to stop for a minute and realize how we can do that in our businesses as well too. So, maybe you're leading one person. Maybe you're new and you've got one brand partner and you're giving it all you've got. Give that person all you've got. Help them to feel important. Help them to feel seen. Maybe you have a large team and you think, oh, they're leading. They got their own thing going on. They're doing their own thing. They don't need me. Y'all, we all need to feel seen. Even Randy Travis needs to be seen and feel like that you recognize that they have something to offer and that they're contributing. And so I encourage you today to make sure that the people on your team feel seen. And I see that y'all just made Carrie Hicks. Carrie is on here. I wasn't quite sure how things were going to go today. I asked Carrie to be ready to share as well too. I know that our time is a little bit limited, but Carrie is so very, very important to me. Of course, I just said that Carrie and I were friends prior to all of this, but she just continued to be my friend and to love on me for many years before we actually joined forces here together. And I kind of caught her off guard a little bit and said, hey, can you jump on this with me this morning? But I do want to throw this over to Carrie and just acknowledge her and the importance that she has to our team. We had our team meeting last night. Carrie leads our team. We kind of worked together on that. And y'all, this is what we talked about, just the importance of people being seen. And so, Carrie, I'm going to hush. I'm going to let you talk for just a second.
Well, when we were doing our team meeting last night, and y'all, between the two of us, I'm the quiet one, if y'all don't know that. But but Sherry and I, we've been friends for years and years. I mean, you went to the hospital when my third child was born. So we have a deep relationship there. And she's right. She was the one brand partner that I wanted on my team for years before she really took hold of it. But Sherry, you going to Florida by yourself a couple of years ago is what changed everybody's business on our team, because you came back and you had the fire underneath you. And you and I both know that, you know, we were both teaching that nutrition program, and it was great. And we have changed so many lives, and we have so many brand partners underneath us because of that program. But it was missing something. And what it was missing was the opportunity to be able to earn income. We were changing lives. That was awesome. But we didn't know how to earn income. We were, but not to the point where we are now. And so I think that has made a huge difference. I love the fact that you are extremely busy. I am extremely busy. This is not something that we have to do sitting at our desk 40 hours a week. You know, we do this business on the go. I know you and Joey are hit the roads all the time. I've got 2 kids that are still in school. I've got a son that's getting married 6 days after we get back from Dominican, you know. So, I mean, it's just a crazy time right now, but we're able to do our business while we're living life. And I think that's really important. And I love our team. I love your success that you have had, and you continue to grow. And I just want to let you know, I'm really proud of you. So.
Aw, thanks, Carrie. All right, guys. So, you know, that's it this morning. It's just about encouragement. It's about loving on each other, building relationships. And so, is there any other moderators that need to share anything before we get started on our IPAs? Nope. All right.